Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I'm back with Vishwa today. So, Vishwa is a mental health therapist. So, thank you, Vishwa, for joining. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
Hi Lakshit, pleasure to be here. Looking forward to our discussion today.
Same here, same here, same here. It's my pleasure to have you also. And thank you very much again. So, before beginning, it would be great if you could, speak about yourself and about your work and, what do you do, and that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So I am a mental health therapist, as you said. I have done my master's in psychology with a specialization in clinical. I am a trauma informed therapist and a queer affirmative therapist. I work with a whole range of concerns with clients, from the age of 18 to clients as old as 90. So it is depression, anxiety, personality concerns, mood concerns, and trauma related, therapy is something that I provide. And today I'm really looking forward to, having this discussion with you on the same because I really think this year has come with its own twists and turns and really, for some people it's pushed them back, for some people it's actually helped them progress. So I'm really looking forward to our discussion today.
Yeah. That's so true. It has been kind of like a game where you also have good where you win, and there is also a game where you lose. So this year has been like
Yeah.
that, and a lot of things to learn, I think. So yeah, before beginning and getting into the discussion, it would be great, if you could tell and let us know that how do you describe mental health in your words. Like, of course, we do have the dictionary or the quoted terms, like, but what do you think as per your learnings and teachings, and what do you how do you quote it?
Yes, I really think mental health, as the word suggests, is more restricted to the word mental, which is brain and your mind. But I think, the mental health, uh, the domain, like it's so vast. It not only includes your brain, but also your entire body. It includes your surroundings, and which is why it's also called the study of mind and behavior. I really think it takes into account a lot of factors which are not just within you but also outside of you. While some can be controlled, some are definitely more internal that you have to work on. But mental health definitely is something which is more holistic. Because even when I do therapy, it's not just limited to, okay, we are just going to talk about your thoughts and emotions today. But it's also, okay, let's understand how neuroanatomy contributes to your mental health, or how your physiology contributes to your mental health. So a lot of physical concerns like thyroid or heart related concerns, diabetes, do tend to have an impact on mental health and vice versa. So mental health for me would be something that entails health overall, and I think a part of it would just focus on thoughts, emotions, and behavior.
Okay, great. So could you please discuss about today's topic and what we're going to speak about. It was about emotions. If you could give us what to say, a kind of a summary of today's topic and what we're going to speak about.
Sure. So I think it's not just the COVID, when initially the pandemic started and we were all in lockdown. I think it forced us to be with our emotions, and that's when it hit me that emotions are there all the time. It's just that, there are moments when we are forced to be with them, and there are some moments, where we can completely wave it off by either meeting friends, partying, indulging in some hobbies. But it's not just COVID related. I think even before that, emotions have been something that, haven't been spoken about. um how many times, I mean, if I ask you this question, how many times uh, have you tried to actually communicate how you feel versus communicating how you think? And most of the times it's more like we are communicating our thoughts but not really delving into our emotions underlying those thoughts. So today we are going to talk a lot about what happens, what are emotions in the very first place, and what's happening in the brain while you feel these different emotions. And moving on to validating these emotions, and how to um, allow yourself to process some emotions at home using some self-help tools.
Okay, okay, great. So yeah, like before which we would get into anything. So like why is it important to take care of your emotions? So like why is it important?
Emotions are so subtle. While some are conscious, some might be unconscious, and some might be subconscious. But emotions tend to impact a lot of our thoughts and behaviors, and vice versa. So there are times, when situations occur, they make us feel something which triggers certain kinds of thoughts. So take this as an example. If I walk into my house at, 12 a.m., somewhere, based on past experiences, I know that my parents might yell at me. So I'm already feeling anxious about stepping in. It will make me think about all sorts of possibilities that might not even happen in the first place, and my behavior would be more defensive. So you see how all of this is related while we focus on one domain, like our thoughts, think positive, come on, like, be confident. You have to, like, your actions need to reflect confidence and high self-worth and self-esteem. We forget that all this is fueled by emotions. At the end of the day, if I don't feel it from within, I'm not going to be able to put it into action, and neither are my thoughts going to be more towards the healthy realm or the healthy spectrum. And hence emotions then become the foundation of a lot of the daily activities in a routine. Something like brushing your teeth or bathing is also dependent on how you feel when you wake up, because there are times when you wake up and you're just like, what, like, I just don't want to get up today. And that's fueled by emotion,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So there are days when you just want to lie in bed for like 10 more minutes, and then there are days when you're more charged up and, like, actually, it's like a spring is attached to you and you're up from the bed and doing all possible tasks. What guides these things? And one answer to this is how we feel constantly. What I'm feeling right now, I may not feel the same 2 minutes later. I may not feel the same 1 hour later, so on and so forth. And it's definitely having an impact on my behaviors constantly.
Yeah, yeah, really true, and agree on that point. That how the impact emotions has have on somebody's mental well-being. Uh, why do you think somebody doesn't like is not able to care about his or her emotion and just walks into his own or her own life and does all these tasks and don't care about anything? Yeah, like what do you think about that?
I really think that I've never heard, people talk about emotions openly.
Mm-hmm.
There have been times, from my personal experience, where I would feel ashamed to cry in front of people,
Okay.
because we were always told that, be strong. You cannot cry. What is
Yeah.
there to cry in this?
Yeah.
I mean, why are you feeling angry? What's there to be so upset? इतना क्या हो गया कि तुम्हें, you're feeling this angry or you're feeling this sad? But never are we told that it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay, you're feeling sad, you're feeling hurt, take some time. Here I am, why don't you talk a little more about it? So I think it's, I don't know if it's culturally rooted or it's across the world, where people are not taught how to talk emotions. We
Hmm.
are more so taught how to talk thoughts.
Okay.
अरे ये हो गया ना, पर इसका लॉजिकल रीजन क्या है?
Yeah.
Like, you tell me, what is, you know I mean, what are you going to lose from it? Nothing, na. Like, we tend to intellectualize so much that we forget that at times the sadness is also required. At times anger is also required. At times feelings of jealousy, hurt, envy are also healthy. Yeah, when they exist, constantly. So feelings of sadness persist, or feelings of anger persist. That's when we say that, okay, this person may have a clinical concern.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it human, when when you actually are in a capacity to feel a range of emotions, in fact, it should make you feel better because you're somewhere in that capacity to process so much more than you can ever think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I still, sometimes see that, especially when it comes to mental health and its role of role of emotions in mental health. I still have people, who parents who come to me and say that इतना क्या हो गया कि depression में चले गए. They are providing them with all facilities. They have everything possible. Then what's the reason? Like children are only not strong these days. But no, I've never heard a parent say that, it's okay for my child to at times just cry and let their emotions out.
Mm. True. True. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And like, so what can we do? What can we do? Like, how can we let our emotions come out? Let our emotions do something. Like, how can we feel better by showing our emotions out?
So before I delve into this entire realm of how can we portray it, I would like to also focus a bit more on, how do these unpleasant emotions manifest in our day-to-day lives?
Mm-hmm.
One reason is procrastination.
Okay.
Procrastination is a behavior which is fueled a lot by anxiety. Second would be, you know, working more. So even when I know I'm not in the capacity, I'll still keep on taking work because that's helping me cope with my emotions, right? To the extent that I'm burnt out, to the extent that I don't have time to sit and, every time when I would have no work, all the more I would feel like, oh my God, I'll create work in those moments because I don't want to sit with those uncomfortable emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Binge eating, binge watching, over exercising, or over gymming are some of the things that help us release those unpleasant emotions in a very subconscious way. Another ways would be substance abuse. It could be pleasing others just because you don't want to feel that emotion of hurt, of guilt, of regret. You will start people pleasing. You will have your defenses really up where, even if someone will tell you, oh, but you sound like you're really hurt, you'll be like, okay, you know what, like I don't care. You'll tend to rationalize, you'll tend to intellectualize.
Yeah.
Then in reality you're actually feeling those emotions of anger, sadness, hurt, guilt, right? And over here I would like to put across, three questions which are so important for us to answer at any point, when we feel comfortable. One, what are the intense emotions I generally experience on day-to-day basis? They don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be intense like, oh my God, on a scale of 1 to 10, they have to be 10 for me to experience. But what are those emotions that I experience on day-to-day basis? For me, possibly it could be emotions of hurt. It could be some as simple emotion as overwhelm. It could be frustration. So, what are those emotions that we experience? The second, how do I feel it in my body? If I'm experiencing anger, where am I feeling it? If I'm experiencing anxiety, where do I feel it? So, for instance, when I am anxious, I often feel like vomiting. I often feel my appetite reduces, my sleep reduces, and that's an indication from my body to me that, hey, you're anxious. And what are the possible patterns, that I indulge in to cope with these emotions? So for some people, the minute there is unpleasant emotion, are play loud music, dance, done. For some people, it's like go for a run. For some people, it's like eat a lot. So what are those patterns that you would engage in to cope with that? Now, when you are aware that, okay, these are the possible emotions,
Mm-hmm.
then it makes sense to also cope with them and to regulate them in a much better manner.
Okay. Okay. So, can we move with the emotions? Like, sorry, no,
Um,
sorry. I'm sorry for that. So,
no,
can
no.
we move for the solutions? I mean,
Yes,
yeah. So, please
yes,
go ahead. Please go
definitely.
ahead. Please go ahead.
So, the solution, so the first thing, that we can do to help us regulate our emotion, one, I would really suggest therapy because as simple as these emotions may sound, I think they are a lot more complex when you start working on it, and a professional can definitely help.
Hmm.
Hence, if you're really experiencing moderate to severe emotions which tend to interfere with your day to day life, then please reach out to a professional, and they'll definitely be able to help you with. However, on day to day basis, here are some strategies. Some deep, slow belly breathing. So, by putting one hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest, just gently inhaling in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh as if you're blowing a candle off. 10 repetitions of this could help.
Hmm.
Om chanting is something that has really proven to be significant and important to not just regulate you but also activate the seven chakras of your body. So, Om really allows you to breathe in right from your stomach up to your vocal cords, and then you actually chant that. So,
Okay.
Om chanting, even if you know you play it on YouTube and you chant along, it would be great because there are a range of Om chants available on YouTube. This third one would be cold water exposure. So, either you literally take water in your hand and splash it on your water, ice cold water, because it tends to stimulate the vagus nerve, the only nerve in the brain which is responsible for social and emotional activation. Um, or even like soaking your face. If you have like a bucket full of water, just put your face in and bring it out. And this really resonates with the research done on swimming, and how hydrotherapy and activities like swimming or any other water sport really makes you feel more connected to your body.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
definitely connection with water helps. Loud gargling. So even if
Okay.
you take some cold water and allow it to sink into your throat, gargle, uh, it again activates the vagus nerve. Um, it also, if you can take an ice cube and just move it on your lips, on your face, it's stimulating enough to help you regulate the intense emotions. Loud singing. So now it doesn't have to be that, oh, I'm not a singer, how will I sing and what will I sing? It's something that you're doing to channelize your emotions. So ask yourself this question, like, how many times have I felt a certain way and found myself playing a song on repeat?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it really helps a lot. Um, Speak to someone who makes you feel safe.
Okay.
It could be a therapist, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, a sibling, or anyone. Even there are people who have confided into parents of their friends, or they have just met someone at a social place and they found that space more comforting where they have opened up to someone, so that can help. um, Savoring nostalgic moments would be next. Reminiscing about old memories, scanning through a gallery, or back then we also had photo albums. So if
Hmm.
you have a photo album, or creating a photo album
Album.
would really help you feel that sense of emotional release when you allow yourself to feel emotions that have made you happy in the past, that have made you feel calmer, or made you feel like you need to believe in yourself a lot more.
Yeah.
um, Last one would be hugs, holding hands, for partners, or it could also be like physical intimacy with your partner or a loved one would definitely help.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, thank you, Vishwa, thank you very much. Yeah, so I think it brings us to an end. We have discussed, you have shared wonderful points, and solutions. So before ending up, I just would want to ask you one question. Would you like to leave a message before ending this up? Anywhere, any kind of message?
Yes, for sure. I think, all emotions are valid. It's okay to feel however you're feeling. There's no right or wrong when it comes to emotions. So allow yourself to, allow yourself to feel more than one thing at once. Um, it might not always be so clear cut as you expect feelings to be, but, remind yourself that even if I'm feeling shameful, I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling disappointed, you're allowed to feel this. But if it starts to interfere with your day to day routine, then please reach out to a professional at the earliest.
Okay, sure, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vishwa. Thank you for sharing, about emotions and things like and how can we help ourselves and seek help if we need. Thank you very much. It was wonderful having you, Vishwa. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Likewise, it was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.